it is interesting to look back through the ones that we've done in the past and just see how far we've come, what we're kind of going through during that time frame.
Joshua, welcome to the area. I have a very important award to present you with.
Is it a major award?
It's a major award. It's a major award. We're still working on the stand of it. This past holiday season, around Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, Dana walked in. She's like, "Did you order something from YouVersion?" I'm like, "What could you order from YouVersion? I don't even know."
Do they sell things?
Well, it was a plaque. A plaque you might see here. It is for Uncommon for surpassing 2 million plan completions. Now, Joshua, when you're editing this video, this is where you put applause.
Want to little people and just clap in the corners?
That kind of thing. We've been doing this for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know they did these things. I know people, they do this with YouTube when you get to a certain number of subscribers or whatever kind of thing. I didn't know they did this type stuff. But we've been doing this since 2012. And how many devotions do you think we have?
I think at last count we had 83, I think it was.
83, okay.
Because we have one that we're pushing out in February, Anxious Hearts, coming
Anxious
out.
Hearts,
So we'll be at 84 at that point.
84. At least one or two of those are pretty decent. That somebody else wrote. So I want to just kind of go through a little bit of what goes into creating a Devo, and maybe even why we do this. Let's start with the why. There are plans out there by the bucketfuls, right?
Sure.
I mean, just in either online, other ministries, people like YouVersion, Olive Tree, Dwell, on and on. And when we first started doing Uncommon, they were only doing this, I think, once a quarter, I think it was. And so when they asked me to take over, I said I'd like to do devotions once a month. And they really didn't have the writing capacity to do that. They were struggling with doing it once a quarter. And so, by the grace of God, we were able to do that. And we did that for years.
Yep.
Every month, we will be developing devotions around husbands, dads, leaders, just men topics in general, from a biblical standpoint. And so just by the sheer nature of doing it for a number of years, we've created this library. And they rank them, they tell us like, what the score is, that type of stuff. And so we'll tell you what our top 5 are and see if you've taken any of those devotions. If you haven't, you have your homework. Yeah. But we started doing these on a monthly basis, and the response was really great. I mean, I think we were one of the first wave of content developers for YouVersion. Over the years, they've gotten a lot more content on there. And so we just figured, hey, we're still working our little corner of the world, right? And we would check once in a while the stats every year or two to see, okay, we're still there, it's still going, kind of thing, people taking it. But we didn't know we were this close to 2 million completions.
Yeah, completions is the interesting part of that, because we always see the stats of how many times people have started, subscribed to, but completions, I mean, 2 million is one of those numbers. Like when you start getting to the millions, I feel like it becomes like almost like a fantasy number where it's like, that doesn't exist. Like I don't know more than like a couple hundred people.
Million.
I don't know a couple hundred people. I can't imagine 2 million people, right? But it is very blessed to see that what we're writing on, what we've done over the years has touched so many people's lives, and many people found Uncommon through our Bible plans on YouVersion.
Yes.
And so it's nice to see that it's still growing. There's a lot of people still taking these plans and finding value there. And I mean, I know that we've had many guest writers over the years kind of do plans and stuff, and we still have that option out there for people to submit writing if you feel led to write something and kind of have us kind of work with you through that. And like you said, it's interesting to note that there's just so many, like, you search the word, worry on YouVersion. Well, you about 5 billion plans you can choose
Right.
from, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, me and Heather are doing a chronological read of the Bible right now. And I searched the word chronological reading. How many years do you want to do it in? 1, 2, 3, 260 days for some stupid reason. Don't know why that's the case.
Right.
So it's cool to see that, some people are still active and kind of, we're reaching them with those Bible studies and such. And it's interesting to look back through the ones that we've done in the past and just see how far we've come, what we're kind of going through during that time frame. I mean, you guys wrote Empty Nesters when I think Noah and them got married around that time frame.
Right. When you and Heather moved out, you
yeah.
moved out and you and Heather got married, we could not find anything on Empty Nesters.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote that because I'm like, well, somebody's going through this too.
Right.
And so that's 100% of what these devotions come from. Things that I'm going through, you're going through, our team's going through, we think other men are going through.
Sure.
And so, like I was taking notes on the most recent one in church one day around anxiety, and that's what has led to what's coming out next month, Anxious Hearts. So, what I like about that number is that the numbers are relevant, but the completion, right? Because a lot of people start plans and they never finish them. Ours is most of them are like 5 days.
Yeah.
There's some longer than that. We have some that's even a 90-day one, right?
Yeah.
But most of them are 5 days. So the chances of you not completing it is probably pretty low, but it does happen.
Yeah.
We have seen that number, people who start versus completion, and it is much higher. I'd say it's not quite 1 million more, but it is every bit of above 500,000 have started plans, not finished them.
Sure.
So that number, I appreciate all 2 million of those people who spent time. Hopefully, they was encouraged about something about that. We're not professional writers. We're just a couple of Christians who want to help men. Yeah. And so our most popular ones, and it goes like this, from the top 5, and I'll start at number 5. Kind of a David Letterman thing. March Madness, right? And so you can only get 5, perfect score 5. This one got a 4.76. The next one is Overcome Fear, 4.77. That was around COVID.
Yeah. Yes, because that was a lot of uncertainty and fear during that time frame.
Right. The next one is God Goals, 4.78.
It's interesting because we wrote that one, was it last year?
I think it was the year before last. Yeah.
Before last, and that was kind of about the new year and starting godly centered goals and faith driven goals. And it's interesting to see that still rings true, even for now, because we just passed the new year. We talked about it in the last podcast, but
Right.
It was interesting to see. I feel like more people are taking it a little more seriously this time around about being let's make goals, let's make attainable goals,
Sure.
and let's get accountability. Because I think me and some guys got together and we were talking about accountability, like what can we be accountable for each other? Because it's so easy to be like, I'll do this, but then unless someone's checking in on you,
Right.
well,
Did you ever do that? No.
Nah, I thought about it for longer than 2 seconds, and there's a lot of work involved.
Yeah, then I took a nap and then never came back.
All that
to it.
motivation.
Number 2 is Legacy Minded. That was a 4.8. And so I don't exactly know what that one was focused on.
That one was focused on the legacy we leave behind.
Right, I didn't know if it was from a dad's perspective or leadership.
It was from a dad's perspective of the legacy we leave behind to our children of what kind of man are you showing them to be, what kind of father are you showing, what kind of husband are you showing to their children, kind of thing. Because we talk about this a lot, that everything you do communicates something to somebody, but more importantly, your children are always watching you.
Yeah.
And so, what you do directly impacts how they view how they'll continue throughout the world of like,
Sure.
well, Dad did X, Y, and Z, so that's why I'm mimicking him now as a father, and so making sure that the legacy we leave behind glorifies God through that.
Exactly. And the last one is love like Jesus. That is a 4.82. Take that, whatever nearby restaurant that's 4.81. Yeah, love like Jesus was one we did, I think, last year, I think.
That was last November, I want to say. It was near the end.
It was 2024?
No.
Or beginning of 2025?
I'm thinking of Diva Plus. Never mind.
Yes. As you can see, a lot of content. And that's what we didn't touch on. While these are just simply one of the areas we develop content for, which is impressive, it'd be interesting to see the same type things, numbers on the other one, top 5 of all the things.
Sure.
But we wanted to take this episode and just thank the Bible app, YouVersion, for giving us opportunity to be a content creator for their platform. We're going to continue to develop content. We did one, I think it was did we do one at the end of the year? I'm trying to think if we launched one. Yeah, it was around their November push. It was the 30-day one.
Grit.
Called Grit. Exactly.
You can see the New Year's kind of hit us hard.
Exactly. And did I mention it was a major award? And so then Anxious Heart is happening probably within the next month or so.
Yeah.
So if you haven't had a chance, take a look at that list. We'll make sure it's listed in the comments section below, so you can kind of go take a look at them. And let us know if there's a topic that you'd like us to write about.
Yeah.
And so,
or let us know if whatever YouVersion plan you've taken of ours that you really love and what you got out of it, kind of thing, or make a recommendation of one that you read right now. We're always looking for inspiration in other ways we can, have quiet time with the Lord. So,
and just because YouVersion only goes up to 5 stars, if you want to tell us what devotion you took of ours, and 16, 17 stars, you won't hurt my feelings.
It's like the grading scale. They're like 4.0. Nah, we go to 8 now for some reason.
Right.
4.0. That's just the door. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Well, again, I want to thank everybody who's been involved in developing those devotions throughout those years. It was many people. Yeah. Lots of prayer. It's not like we don't just write those things and say, "Hey, AI, write this," or someone's writing it. Someone has been inspired by someone. They prayed about it. They wrote it. It's been edited to death and then submitted to whatever platform it is, and they edit it too. They give us some feedback on that. I just want to thank everybody involved with that.
Yeah.
So, all right, Joshua. On to the next 2 million. Let them have it.
If you're going to be something, be uncommon.